Hello everyone, welcome back in number based program. This is one of the two important program which we can be used in Java. As you know, we are doing a number program to develop our logic and to generate a new kind of concept over here. So before starting discussing the program, we should understand what is exactly a neon number. So let's start. Let's take a neon number. Neon number in which generally we take a first number over here and make it the square of it. Now square, as usual, as you can see, the 9 has been taken over here and we'll take the square of it. So 9 square is equal to 81. So what we need to do, we need to be fetch the digit of a square number. Always remember what exactly we are doing. We fetching the digits of square number. So what is the square number over here? 81. So we'll get 8 and 1 as a digit and we sum up the digits over here and we get again a new number. So now when we take a number, make it the square, then fetch out the digits of a square number and sum up those digits and we get the same number which have been taken as an input. Then it is said to be a neon number. Alright. You can take one more example. Suppose I have been taking a number over here 5. Make it the square of it, it become 25. So when we make it the square of it, so 25, fetch the digit, that is 2 plus 5, make it the sum of it and it give you the 7. Now this time the taken number and the received number is not equal to each other. Alright. So when this kind of condition will arises, then we said it is not a neon number. Alright, so this is the concept of a neon number where we have to take a number first and then we perform a square operation of it. Then after that we need to be fetch the digit of the square and sum of those digits and ultimately we require the particular number and at last we have to check whether the number is equal to the number which we have taken earlier. Alright, this is the entire concept. So you must think before starting the program then how many inputs and the data members, so-called variables, are required over here. Let's take a look over here how many variables are required. Just simply go through the example properly. As you can see, input, in place of inputs, if I'll talk about the input, that how many inputs we required from the user. So we need only one input, that is the number. Alright, and number should be integer. So now the data type is also clear, that in which we are going to store our number. We are going to store our number in integer. Now the few other aspects over here, is there any other variable is required to complete this program? Yes, why not? Because as you know, we need one variable to hold the square of the number. Alright, so we'll take more data members if I can say over here. Why we doing this exercise before starting the program? That is the most important thing. Why we finding out the data members over here? So in between, whenever you are writing the code, you will not face any kind of difficulty. You will not be confused at how many variables we required. So you should be clear before starting the program. Your concept should be clear that what exactly you are going to be doing. So we need one data member over here to store the square. So I can take SQ because it's quite resemble to with the square, and then we required a one more variable that is called sum. Why we required sum? Because we need to sum up that digits of square number. So I'll take one sum variable. Now at last, as you can see, this sum variable is going to hold the final result, but as we know that at the end we need to check the condition where the sum value and the number value has to be equal each another. That means in this situation we need to use if statement and the conditional statement. Alright. So I think these data members and variables are sufficient to design this program. So without any further delay, let's start the program. As we know that we are taking input from the users, so we'll start our program from import keywords. So I'll write the import over here. So import I should be remain small. Most of the students generally write import like this. No, this is completely wrong. As we know that the import is a keyword, and in Java all keywords should be written in a small case. So I'll start with the import followed by the Java dot util and dot, don't forget to put the dot, asterisk, semicolon. Some of the students are having quite little confused. They said ki ma'am, can we use util dot scanner also over here? That is completely fine. I am using the asterisk. That is going to be import all the scanner class, all the util package over here, including the scanner class method. Alright, followed by the class. As you know, class is itself a keyword, so it should be written in a small case, but class name should be start with a capital letter because the Java is case sensitive and it follows the camel case. So I am writing the class name over here, neon. It is not compulsion that everyone should write the same name. It can be vary, but it should be appropriate and follows the norms. Now after creating the class, we need to create a main method. It should be public, where public is a access specifiers, and so called a keyword also over here. So P should be in a small case, followed by the static, which is modifier over here. It's itself a keyword, so S should be in a small case, and then void. Void is a data type over here, so also it should be written in a small case, and the main is a method name, and all method names should be start with a small letter in Java. So be very careful. Up inside we pass the argument, so we simply give string args over here, and this square bracket, proper square bracket you need to be required over here. Don't put a semicolon at the end of the method name. All right, so be very careful. Now open the scope of a method. It's time to design the scanner class object. As we know, scanner is a class, so the class first letter should be capital. That's why the S is capital over here. Now the instance variable or a variable we are creating for this class, that is sc equals new scanner. Now pass the method inside it, that is called system.in semicolon. Now in this we want to give a message to the user. What exactly you want to ask from the user, that you need to be mentioned in system.out.println. As you know, this method is used to provide the output over the screen. So whatever you have been mentioned inside the double quote, it will be treated as a message for the user. So I'll give a message that enter a number. I'm asking for a number from the user. So I'll simply give a message. As you know, we have been already clear in our mind that we need to store a number in integer variable. So I'll give a int as a data type over here. Variable name, I am taking a small n as a variable name. You can change capital N, any variable you can place in between. So that we'll write sc dot next int. As we all know, to store any kind of integer value, we required a scanner class method. That method can be the next int. So we have been simply taken out over here. Now the other important data members I have been required. One is sq. So what was the purpose of this sq? To store the square of that number. So here's the number. Where is your number? Number is in n variable. So we need to make it the square of it. So you can use both the method over here. If you don't want to write this code, you can write math.pow and convert it, that math.pow result in integer, because this sq is going to hold only the integer value. Alright, so this is completely optional, but I'll just show you that how can you write this, like math.pow bracket, the n has to be passed separated by the number of squares over here, like you need to be performed the power value over here, that will be 2. So and converted this int value, this math.power value into integer. So if you don't want to write n into n, then you can simply write math.power n comma 2, and you need to be put semicolon at the end. Although I have been mentioned after the single line comment, so there is no issue whether you're putting the semicolon or not, because compiler is not going to read whatever have been mentioned after the comments. Alright, so this is the important one. Now it's time. The important fact is how you're going to be find out the digit of a square. This is the important one. As I've already discussed this concept, that how you're going to be fetch it out the digit of a number. You can, if you have any confusion, you can simply visit that video. You can understand how you getting the number from it. Alright, and as you know, you need to be sum of the digits. So I'll take a variable sum, and initially it going to be initialized with its default value. What data type we are using over here? We are using int. That's why their default value is 0. Alright, so now this is the first part of the code which have been completed over here. In the next part, we need to be finding out the digit of a square. This is the very important and crucial moment for the program, because sometimes students get confused and they finding out the digit of the number. No, we don't finding out the sum of the digits over here. Alright, we finding out the sum of the square number. Alright, so we'll run a loop for finding out the digits, that is the while, and here we put this SQ, and it has to be greater than 0. This loop will remain till the active once this condition is true. Once this condition become false, the loop is already terminating. Now it's time. As you know, we are taking one intermediate of variable over here, which is we called local variable. Here we are going to be apply the modulus operation over here, which help you to fetch out the digit, and then the digit came into the A, and now after that we need to sum this digit with that variable which we have already taken sum, and reduce that code by applying the divide operation over here. This is the very common code which we have already discussed so many times in the number program, so I don't think so you'll find any kind of difficulty. So this is the important code for any number based program, so we can simply go for it. We'll take it the SQ value over here, and this loop will run till the time the SQ is greater than 0. And first operation, we are performing a modulus. Modulus always give you the last value, and then we sum up that in the sum, and at last we reduce that number. So it's time to check. The last thing is to check that some value is equal to the number, then it is said to be a neon number, otherwise it's not a neon number. So for checking the condition, we always require a conditional statement. As you know, in Java we are having two type of conditional statement. One is if and else, or in the variation of if and else you can say if else ladder, if else, and so many other, and the other is switch. So we simply use switch, or you can also use the conditional statement over here. First we'll write sum. If sum is equal, what kind of operation we are placing over here? This is relational. Alright, this double equal is used to check the numbers are equal or not, and we are comparing this sum value with n. If this condition prevail, then you can simply give a message system.out.print. ln is not required over here. In double quote, given number is neon number. Is that clear? Given number is neon number. That's it. Terminate that line with the semicolon. Else, you can mention system is a class, that's why system S is capital. Anywhere you can see in the program, system S will remain, first letter will remain capital. System.out.print. Print is a method, that's why it started with a small p, not a neon number. Is that clear? Now it's time to close the brackets. How many brackets you have been open, how many bracket you needs to be closed? As you can see in this slides, you can see simply the while bracket have been open and been closed. Now just simply go through the previous code. How many brackets are open? 1, 2. 2 brackets are open. Is there close? No. So we need to be close the brackets over here. 2 brackets. So number of opening of bracket and closing bracket should be equal to each another. Alright. So this is the one important aspect. Let's quickly discuss the dry run of this code. Although have been already explained the code, but still that give you much better example for that. Suppose the n value is here and user has given the value of n is 9. We are just taking, and now we need to be finding out the square of that number, where we have to perform n into n. So 9 into 9, the answer is 81. Is that clear? And now we need to be take one variable, that is sum, initial value is 0. So now how we going to solve this? Let's see over here. We are having 3 variables. One is a n, the initial value of n is 9. The other variable we are having as q, which is going to be hold the square of that number. So 9 square, that is 81. And the one more variable we have, that is sum, which is initially 0. So now it's time to start from the while loop. As you know, loop are having a number of iterations. So we make it the same thing over here. We start with the first iteration. And here we need to firstly check the condition. Once the condition is false, we don't need to execute any of the statement inside the loop. So we'll check the condition. The condition has been placed over the SQ, that is 81 greater than 0. Isn't it true or false? This is true. So now we get the green signal to get inside the loop, and what we are finding out? We finding out the variable a over here, which is going to hold 81 modulus by 10. So many times I told you, whenever we perform a modulus operation and whenever we perform modulation by 10, we'll get the last digit. So we'll get over here 1. So the current value of a will be 1 for the first iteration. And now after performing this step, we move to the next one, where sum equal to sum plus a. So what is the previous value of sum? You can easily find it out, that is 0, and you need to be added the value of a, what is 1. So now updated value of sum will be 1 over here. So the first iteration, in first iteration you can see the sum value has been changed. The 0 turned to be 1, and now SQ equal to SQ divided by 10. So we are also updating the value of SQ. Current value of SQ is 81. Divide by 10, so it becomes 8.1. But as I told you that the number is integer, it is not going to hold any fractional value, so it simply remove this dot from here and your number will remain 8 only. So now you can see after the first iteration, this number is also being changed and it automatically become the 8 only. Now it's time to check the loop condition once again. Now here in second iteration, as you can see, I simply mention a second over here, that is a second iteration. The second time we are running the loop. So this time the condition is once again based on SQ. What is the current value of SQ? Is a. A is greater than 0, condition is true. Once you get the green signal, get inside it, and now it's time you need to be calculate the value of a. What is the current value of a? It doesn't matter over here. We simply find it out, the SQ modulus 10. What is SQ? 8 modulus 10. As you know, the dividend value is lesser than divisor value. So what we'll simply get 8 as a final result. So we'll get 8 over here, and we need to update the value of sum. What is the current value of sum? That was 1. Added with the a current value is 8. So it becomes 9. So now updated value, a updated value is 1 to 8 and some updated value is 1 to 9. This one the updated value. So now it's time to SQ. SQ will be SQ divided by 10. So what is the current value of SQ is 8 divided by 10. So as you know, you will get 0.8. Now as we know, our number is an integer which is not going to hold any decimal value. So this decimal part is automatically remove from here, and what remains over here? Only this 0. Alright, so now updated time, number becomes 0, number means SQ becomes 0 and sum becomes 9. Alright, so now it's time once again for the third iteration. We need to check the condition. So that's our moral duty. We need to check until this condition become false, then only we can move further. So now this time 0 is greater than 0. Yes or no? No, definitely no. So the false condition is false. The loop terminated. Alright. So after the loop termination, suddenly we got the conditional statement, that is sum equal to n. We need to check the value of sum with n. So what is the current value of sum? That is over here 9. Yes or no? So if condition, if sum is 9 equal to number is also 9. Yes. So that's why you got the message that given number is neon number. Alright. I believe nobody face any kind of difficulty to make this kind of program, and it is quite very easy and simple. You can easily make it without any difficulty. Alright. So we have been, you can design the VDT as well for this program. I have been already told you how to design the VDT, variable, data type and description. There are how many variables we have been used, you can simply see that, and have been taken SQ, sum and A, declare their data type and write down the purpose of that, why we using these variables. So this is the important one. Now moving on to the next program, we have, that is called Niven number. In this program, you can simply see that we have been taken a number, simply find the sum of digits. Alright, that means we take the number, fetch the digit of a number. As you can see, 45 are having, one is 4, other is 5. Sum up the digits, we'll get 9 over here. Alright, so 9. The concept is that the number has to be properly divisible by the sum of its digits. Sum of its digits. Alright, if it give you the remainder 0, then only it is said to be a Niven number, or it is also known as Harshad number. Alright, so this is the concept where we are taking a number, fetching out the digit, and we are doing sum over it, sum of the digit, and the sum of digit can be easily divide the number. If it completely divide the number, then it will return a 0, then it is said to be a Niven number. Now it's time to design the program for the same. Before designing it, the same concept, how many things are required? One thing, one input is number is required very much over here. Second, we need the sum of the digits. So one variable is sum. This is variable number 1. This is variable number 2. Now, but one thing you should remember, at the end you need to be mention the number over here. In the previous program, we finding out the digit of the SQ. So I just give you the quick reminder over here. Whenever we find it out, the SQ digits, at the end SQ becomes 0. Alright, means in this entire process, this SQ automatically turns to be 0. Then only you will come outside the loop. So now the same concept is going to be implemented over here. When you put this number inside the while loop, you need to be run the loop until this number becomes 0. So how you get use this number over here? That is the major question. Once your number becomes 0 while finding out the digits, so how you can use this number over here? So in this situation, whenever you feel that during any kind of process, any kind of fetching out the digit, your number is turning to be 0, just simply make it the copy of that number, so that if you require the number further, you can use the copy of that number, or you can pass that copy into finding out the digit of a number. Alright, so we need first variable is number, other is sum, and third important one is the copy. So what is the use of copy? So we in near future, if we required a number but the number is become 0 because it's already went inside the while loop, and it give you when your entire number becomes 0. So in place of the number you can use this copy variable which is going to be hold the same value. Alright. So without any delay, let's start the program. Same thing we are doing over here. Here we also taking input from the user. We simply start the program with import. So we'll write import java dot util dot asterisk semicolon followed by the class. As you know, we give a class name, so I'll simply give in a Niven number. So I'll write Niven curly bracket. This is the opening of class. The main method public static void main will pass the argument in the string form. So I'll write a string args and the square bracket, proper square bracket. Open the scope of a method, create a scanner class object. So I'll write a scanner sc equals new scanner. Inside we pass system.in. What we required from the user? We required a number, so we simply give a message with the help of system.out.print. ln needs to be mentioned because few more remarks has been given inside the program. So I'll give enter a number. I'm writing a short form. You can write a full message over here. And as we have already decided, the number should be integers. So I'll take a small n. And with the help of this sc, we call it the next int method over here. Int I should be capital, no small I mentioned over here. And there is no gap between next and int. Now it's time to declare the more variables. So firstly, I'm taking the copy, which is exactly going to hold the same number. Simply make it a photocopy of that number, alright. So whatever the value of n, the same value for the copy. We need one variable that is called int sum. Initially it is 0. Now further, the same thing is going to be happen. We need to be fetch out the digit of a number. So for that we have a very common loop that is called while loop. And it will run until your number has been greater than 0, or once your number becomes 0, it automatically terminated. Now we need a one local variable, so I'll already prefer this a. Here we need to perform the first operation, that is modulus. Whenever we need to be fetched out any digit, we need to be mentioned two operations. First is modulus to fetch the digit, other is divide to reduce that number. So what we need to do, we need to sum the digits. So we'll simply write sum plus a, and then to reducing that number we perform the operation n divide by 10 over here. By the help of this is the same common code over here. Now we frame a condition that is called if. Here what we need to be checked, the number has to be properly divided by the sum of its digit. So number, because the number is automatically becomes 0, so n can't be used over here, alright, because computer always take the updated value of that variable. So this time once you run this loop, the n automatically becomes 0 in that entire process, alright. So in place of n, I am taking the copy over here. Clear why we taking copy? This is the important step of this program. And modulus with the sum value. So this is the one of the statements, so I keep it inside the bracket. And equal, that means completely divisible, means the remainder will be 0, alright. So if this condition is prevail or this condition will true, then only we can say the given number is a Niven number or a Harshad number. You can say any of the name. Given number is Niven number. Else because if is you are using over here, so you need to be mentioned else also. So both the condition, in both the cases user must get the answer whether it is true or false. Given number is not a even number. Given number is not an even number, so we ended the program with putting the closing brackets. So I believe we need to be put two closing bracket over here. One is a class bracket, other one is a method bracket. Always remember, method bracket is going to be closed first, followed by the class bracket. As you know, in the main gate of your house is always being far away and as compared to your entrance. All right. So you can simply go through and check this, where you can simply take it. Like suppose I have been taken a number over here, any number you can see, I'll take it 30 over here as a number. Now copy also contain the same value, that is 30. Sum, initially it is 0. Alright. So in the next, once you are checking the condition 30 is greater than 0, condition is true, get inside, find out the modulus of that number. Modulus by 10 always return a last digit. So here you can see the A current value will be 0, because in 30 the last digit is 0, and sum equal to sum plus 0. As I told you, the sum current value is 0, so 0 plus 0 is 0. Again the updated and reduce the number, that is 30 divided by 10, you will get 3 as a final result. So once again you need to be checked, 3 is greater than 0, yes, condition is true, get inside, find out the modulus of that number. So this time the A value will be 3, this 3 will be added in the sum. What is the current value of sum? Still 0, 0 plus 3, that is 3, reduce this number, 3 divided by 10, that is 0.3. As you know, your number is integer, which is not going to be hold any kind of decimal value. So this 0.3 automatically turns to be 0. So now it's once again you need to be checked, 0 is greater than 0, condition is false. Once the condition is false, just move further. You need to check the condition of what is the current value of copy. As I told you, the copy is already containing that same number, that is 30, because the n is automatically becomes a 0 during that process. So we are very smart. So we have been taken a number 30, 30 modulus by the sum value is 3. Alright, the current sum value is 3 divided by 0, condition is true, the given number is a even number. That is the summary of this program. So similarly, you can design the VDT for that, where you have to write variable, data type and description. So how many variables you are using? You are using n, you are using copy, you are using sum. Only 3, and a also in between. So int, sum is also int, copy is also int, and n is also int. To hold a number, to hold the copy of a number, then sum to hold the sum of digits, is that clear? And the int a to hold digits. So now this was the final things we need to be designed at the end of the VDT of the program. I hope you can easily understand the concept of neon number and even number, and I believe you are going to be practiced out. So before jumping on this topic, you must go through how we finding out the digits and how we simply break a number into digits, because this will give you a great hint, and by the help of which you can easily design the program. So we wrap up the class over here. We'll meet you in the next video. So thank you.